Hello everyone, I want to welcome to Module 3 of the RPCCR course. So the objective of this module is to provide several case study examples for utilizing the riparian restoration prioritization for climate change resilience tools as part of the decision management process to answer questions regarding the priority resources within the organizational area of responsibility. So we already covered how to use the tool, the point-click, how to get your output, how to download your data. Now what I want to talk to you about is really how to use that output in conjunction with other data resources to help make management decisions. To do that, I wanted to show you a couple examples of data that I wanted to show you a couple of examples of analysis. So in order to provide it in mix. So now I want to show you that output in conjunction with other data layers to give you some ideas on how that data can be used and interpreted. And in this scenario, you have examples on how the tool can be sensitive to the parameters. So the scenario number 1 on the left, which are these areas in dark red, you can see these are areas that were identified that met the criteria of less than or equal to 50% canopy cover, greater than or equal to 70% solar gain, and less than 5% impervious surface. So the areas that you see in this dark red here are areas that met all those criteria. However, if you run the analysis again and simply change the canopy cover and the impervious surface, so you can see that I increased the canopy cover threshold to 70%, I left the solar gain percentile at 70, and increased the impervious surface to 10%. You can see that these areas in pink, and an example is highlighted in yellow here, are areas that now meet the criteria that did not before. So this tool can be sensitive. Even though there aren't a lot of parameters you have to input, changing those can definitely give you a different picture of areas to focus on. So next, I wanted to show you how the analysis can be used to refine your prioritization by incorporating additional variables. So in this example, these two maps were depicted using the same parameters. So I did not change the percent impervious surface, the canopy cover, or the solar gain. Those stay the same on both maps. What is different is the additional data layer, which is permitted water withdrawals. So you can see at the snap on the left, there is a lot of criteria. There is a lot of areas that met the criteria established in the tool. And there also are not that many water withdrawals. So there's only really these 3 dots that are within this geographic area. And these may not have a significant impact on the resources within this vicinity. However, on the right-hand side, you can see there are just as many areas that met the criteria, but this area is really loaded with permitted water withdrawals. So while the area may be suitable and a high priority based on the parameters from the riparian tool alone, when you take into effect the additional parameters such as permitted water withdrawals, this could then make the area less than desirable for restoration. You may have an instance where there are so many water withdrawals that even if you restore the habitat, the flows are not adequate to support the habitat or the species that you're interested in. The third and final example for the case study analysis I wanted to go over is the importance of considering adjacent data in your analysis. So the maps here, once again, both use the same parameters within the RPCCR tool. However, the area on the left, you can see, has a lot of areas that met the criteria. These are these areas here. But these areas are also adjacent to and within urbanized areas. So when you run the riparian tool, it is strictly looking at information that is within the cells that within the riparian corridor. It is not looking beyond that riparian corridor buffer. But this is something you might want to think about, because in this example, that riparian corridor may be vegetated, but the area just immediately adjacent to it may have more significant impact to urbanization, making that area less than desirable for protection. Now, if you look to the right, you can see that the area highlighted in yellow here is a good example of areas that met the criteria which do not have that much urbanization. So there may not be as many additional impacts the area may face. So you may not have to be concerned with different impacts associated with it. So those are just three really quick examples of ways to incorporate additional data and different ways to look at the output from the RPCCR that can help you in incorporating this as a decision support tool in making your conservation management decisions.